Hey guys, YouTube 100 here, and Merry Christmas to everybody. Alright, and here I am now to finish off these direct-to-video made-for-TV Christmas reviews, and I decided to conclude by reviewing probably one of the most popular TV made-for-TV Christmas movies, which is A Very Brady Christmas. So, yeah. So I did watch this film a few times as a kid. I mean, it wasn't one that I really did watch like a ton growing up. I mean, I remember I told you before that I did watch Richie Rich's Christmas Wish a lot when I was a kid. This one, on the other hand, I really didn't watch all that much. I mean, I did see it like a few times when it would like be on TV when I was a little kid during Christmas time. I remember like this would like be shown on networks like Nick at Night and TV Land and networks like that when I was a kid. So yeah, I did watch it a few times, just not a whole lot. I mean, yeah, I've never really been like the biggest fan of like all these like reunion continuation programs and series of the Brady Bunch. Yeah, I remember like during this time there were like a lot of like several different types of like sort of like continuation and reunion like shows and like specials for like the Brady Bunch reunions when they were like growing up. Yeah, yeah. I remember like there was like that TV movie, The Brady Girls Get Married, which then like led to that very short-lived series, The Brady Brides, which only lasted like 10 episodes, and it eventually led to this movie, A Very Brady Christmas, and then it would then also eventually lead into like the early '90s, I think, with that short-lived hour-long series, The Bradys. So yeah, so there were like all these like different things to like kind of I guess like attempts to sort of like continue on like the Brady Bunch, kind of like give them like reunion shows, I guess similar to Fuller House, and a lot of these other like more modern TV show reunion series like that. There's that That's So Raven reunion show, and then there's Girl Meets World, and yeah, shows like that. That's a yeah. So I guess just like the Brady Bunch also like did try to do that as well, but yeah, I never really did work out very well. Yeah, yeah, and I've never really been the biggest fan, but yeah, of all the like a reunion continuation series and specials, I guess like this one is probably the best of all of them. I mean, it is a decent film, I guess. I mean, I think that what it does is, I think it does like just fine for like the premise of that it's telling. I mean, yeah, the premise of the special is that Mr. and Mrs. Brady are just it's Christmas time, and then like they want to take each other or offer like vacations for Christmas. Like they both like have like different ideas. Like Carol wants to take Mike to Greece, and Mike wants to take Carol to Japan. Yeah. And then when they learn that they both have different plans, what they decide to do instead is they decide to just like bring all the kids and their families home for Christmas. Yeah, and that's really just what it's about. It's just like all the kids like coming home for Christmas with all their families. Yeah, and you do just about like have every like original actor from the Brady Bunch returning to reprise their roles once again. I mean, they reprise their roles in like the Brady Girls Get Married and the Brady Brides, and they did it once again here. Like you do still have like Robert Reed, Florence Henderson, Ann B. Davis, and you do have Maureen McCormick, Barry Williams, Eve Plum, Chris Knight, and Mike Lookinland. Yeah, the only character that was played by a different actor in this movie is Cindy, because yeah, Susan Olsen at the time was like off celebrating her honeymoon. So in this film, Cindy is played by Jennifer Runyon. So yeah, yeah, and I think it's kind of like a kind of funny that like it seems like for all these series like they had like one original actor unable to reprise their role in a series. Yeah, because in the Brady's, Maureen McCormick didn't reprise the role as Marcia, and in that series, Marcia was played by Leah Aries. Is that how it's said? Yeah, yeah. And I'm not sure if like in like the other ones, if there were different actors playing a certain character as well, that an actor was unable to reprise their role. Yeah, and also in this film, you do have um, uh, Jerry Hauser and Ron Koolman reprising their roles as Wally and Philip, Marcia and Jan's husband from like the Brady Brides. Yeah, they reprise their roles in this film too. Yeah, yeah, and yeah, there's also like all the Marsha and Wally's kids and Greg's son and stuff yeah, yeah, all the kids. Well, yeah, most of them, like Marsha and Greg have now have their had their families of their own, and yeah, Jan is also like married, of course, in this film. Yeah, she has Philip. She's still married to Philip, though. In this film, uh, yeah, it's shown that like they're like starting to separate, but yeah, by the end of the film, like they do like make amends and do get back together, do like patch things up and stay together. So yeah, yeah, and also like in this film, like it showed that like all the kids like have like personal issues going on that they're trying to hide from the parents, but yeah, then like over time, like the parents do find out and do help. Like in this film, it's shown that Wally is just like fired from his job, and so yeah, and like they're like he and Marsha are now like kind of worrying about their finances, yeah, and it's shown that like when like the kids all get invited when Greg like gets the invitation, like he wants his wife Nora to come with him to spend Christmas with his family, but yeah, Nora also already made plans to spend Christmas with her family, yeah, and also as I said, Jane is separating from Philip, and also Bobby, like he's like Mike and Carol think that he's still in college at this time, but yeah, it's revealed that Bobby has actually dropped out of college to become a race car driver, and he hasn't told his parents yet. So yeah, and in this film, Bobby is a race car driver, and of course, like if you know about the show The Brady's, you know like what happens to him in that series when he is a race car driver. Yeah, I won't give that away here, but yeah, if you have seen The Brady's, like you do know what happens to him in The Brady's, and yeah, it does kind of like cut his career as a race car driver kind of short. Yeah. Yeah, and yeah, and Cindy is also a college undergraduate in this film. And yeah, and it's like shown that she is like suffering for some like overwhelming student issues right now, and she actually did make plans to go skiing with her roommates in Aspen for Christmas, but yeah, when she gets the invite like to go home, like she's like caught between a rock and a hard place, not knowing which one to choose. Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, it's shown that like all the kids are like going through issues in this film. So yeah, it does like at least like give the characters like some conflicts in this, and not really just make it like something where it just seems so forced. Like there is at least like conflicts going on in this film, and there's also like a subplot in this film where like Mike ends up like working with a ruthless businessman, and he's like he designed a building for the businessman, but due to like some issues he's having with the businessman, Mike ends up like cutting ties with him, and yeah, but then yeah, towards the end of the film, like the businessman calls him back after an accident during the construction, and yeah, Mike comes to make the save. So yeah, and also in this film, Alice also is like suffering problems with Sam because yeah, at this time, uh, Sam and Alice, like they've been married by this time, but it's shown that like Sam like has left Alice for another woman, so yeah, Alice is like going through some tough times as well, and yeah, and it's shown that like in this film, Alice is no longer the Brady housekeeper, but yeah, when she does come to the house, like she continues to act as the housekeeper once again. So yeah, yeah, so yeah, more like conflict. Yeah, they gave Alice an issue as well. Oh yeah, and I do like how in this film they do like sort of like flash make a couple of flashbacks back to like the Brady Bunch series. Like there's a one when they're kind of like thinking about like the camping trip that they went on in the first season of the show, and they do have a flashback when the kids like get scared thinking there's a bear out there. Yeah, and there's also towards the end of the film there's a flashback to the Voice of Christmas episode, which I did talk about last year. Yeah, as and it's shown that like as Mike is like stuck in that a building where there's the accident in, like Cindy and Carol are reminiscing of like when Cindy wished for Carol to have her voice back for Christmas, and then there's also like the piece where she's actually singing the song in the church at the end of the episode. Yeah, and then everybody then like sings the song "Oh Come Ye Old Faithful" as a nod to that moment in the show. Also, yeah, yeah, so I do like that they do at least like give like some nods to like moments from the original series in this movie. Yeah, yeah. So I mean, so is this film good? Well, I don't really know if I can say that. I mean, was there really any reason for this movie to exist? Probably not. I mean, it probably would have worked if they actually like during the original Brady Bunch series, if they actually did make like a full-on Christmas film for that rather than like just that one Voice of Christmas episode. I think like if they could have like done another Christmas special during the series and probably like give it like a full-length movie like this film was. So yeah, so it probably would have worked better like that. But as is, I mean, I guess it is like a decent enough film. I mean, it is like one of the more popular ones, as I said, and yeah. And if you're a Brady Bunch fan, I mean, I think that you may get like enough enjoyment out of this to say that you like it. And so yeah, so but me personally, like I said, I'm not really like the biggest fan of any of those like reunion and continuation programs and series, and yeah, and none of them really did do very well. Like the Brady Brides and the Brady's were very short lived, as I said. So yeah, this was probably due to poor ratings and people not really enjoying them. So yeah, so I guess I'm not really alone on what I feel about them. So yeah, so yeah, so overall, I would probably go around like the 2.25, 2.5 star rating range for this film. So yeah. All right, so I guess I'll just talk a little bit about the premise of the film. I mean, I've already really pretty much discussed it, so I really don't think I have to say very much. But yeah, I'll try to talk as much about it as I haven't already. Yeah. So yeah, as the film opens, it does show that it is Christmas time, and yeah, the Mike and Carol do like have like a special bank account for like their vacation savings, and as I said, they both plan to use it for a vacation for the others. And as I said, Carol wants to take Mike to Greece, and Mike wants to take Carol to Japan. And yeah, and when they're like trying to like withdraw money for the vacation, and the two of them then realize that their ideas collided, and so then they decide to come up with a compromise to use the money to like bring all the kids home for Christmas. So yeah, and I do kind of like this too. This kind of like seems like another nod. It reminds me of like the trading stamps episode of the show where the girls wanted one thing and the boys wanted another with the trading stamps, and then they came up with the idea to get a new TV for the entire family. So yeah, yeah. So I do kind of like look at that in a way as another nod to the show. So yeah, yeah. And then yeah, then Carol and Mike all call the kids, and yeah, Alice also ends up like coming home as well. Well, due to the issues with Sam. Yeah, yeah. And they all make the calls, and the kids like initially do agree, but yeah, it just is like revealed that they all had the problems that I mentioned earlier were going on at the time. But yeah, they do all agree to come home. And even though like Jane and Philip are like separating and they're on a strained relationship, and even when Jane gets the call to come home, like it does show how Philip is like really like trying to clear all his stuff from the house. But yeah, then yeah, Jane then convinced Philip to come home for Christmas with her for their family. Yeah, yeah, and then everybody all then arrives with there's all the kids and their the kids, the in-laws, and the grandkids. Yeah, and yeah, and then then it shows then how like throughout the film when like all the kids are home, like they like then do like express their situations to like other members of the family. Like Peter and Bobby were talking to each other. Cindy was talking to Peter's here's a boss, Valerie, who Peter is actually like romantically involved with, and and there's like a few others like that where like they're like expressing their situations to others. Yeah, yeah, and then eventually like when Mike and Carol ended up like finding out about the situations, and they all help them out, and then and it just showed like when they're sitting down for dinner, they all express their situations to them, and yeah, Mike and Carol all help them out. They help uh, Jane and Philip help reconcile and stay together. They approve of Bobby's decision to become a race car driver, yeah, and even Nora then ended up like making a surprise arrival for Greg. So yeah, everybody was then back together. Yeah, and before like they could actually eat, Mike got a call from that businessman that designed a building for, and it turned out that there was an accident because like a piece of the building collapsed and two security guards were trapped inside. Yeah, and yeah, he couldn't get any other architects to come, so Mike was like the only option that he could get. So yeah, Mike ended up arriving on the scene, and then and yeah, Mike went inside to free the guards, which he did, but due to like an aftershock, like it caused more like rubble and a cave in, and Mike ended up like getting trapped inside the rubble himself. And then yeah, the entire family then ended up arriving on the scene, and yeah, they were just really hoping that Mike was okay. And then it showed inside how Mike was okay, like he was unharmed. He was just trapped by all the rubble. And then yeah, as I said, they were reminiscing of the time when Cindy wished for Carol to have her voice back for Christmas. And then yeah, the family and everyone else on the scene was singing the song "Oh Ye Old Faithful," and then yeah, Mike was able to get out of the debris. Yeah, and then once they returned home for dinner, and then like there was a man dressed as Santa at the door, and yeah, all the kids were asking where his bag of presents was, but he said that he only had one present for Alice, and then it turned out it was actually Sam as Santa, and in this film, Sam was played by uh, Louis Arquette in this film rather than Alan Melvin. So yeah, they didn't actually show Sam's face on screen, but yeah, he it just like show as his back was like shown turned up. Just he pulled down the beard, and Alice saw that it was Sam, and so yeah, then Sam ended up like apologizing to Alice and just was pleading for forgiveness, and she took him back, and yeah, then yeah, they invited Sam to stay for dinner, and then it just ended with everyone singing "We Wish You a Merry Christmas." So yeah, and that's how it ended. So yeah, a decent enough film, I guess. I mean, yeah, it's not really one of my favorites, and probably kind of like no need for it to exist. Like I said, it probably would have worked better, like as if it was actually like made back during like when the Brady Bunch was around, and it was like a full length. There was a full length Christmas movie. Yeah, but as is, like I said, I think it is decent enough. I mean, the premise overall, I mean, it is good enough for the story that this film is telling. And yeah, the characters all go through conflicts. I do like the nods to the original series, and yeah, and it is good to at least like see the all the most of the original cast. Yeah, like I said, not Susan Olsen, but yeah, everybody else still like coming back and reprising their roles for this. So I guess it is decent enough. I mean, if you can and put up with that, and if you like the idea of like a Brady Bunch reunion like this, I think that you'll get enough enjoyment out of this. But me personally, like I said, I haven't really been the biggest fan of like those reunion continuation series and programs. But yeah, out of all of them though, I think this one's probably the best one. So yeah, all I can really say is just take it as is. I mean, if you like this concept, you may get enjoyment out of this. But yeah, a majority of the people really didn't seem to. But yeah, so yeah, just check it out and decide for yourself if you like it or not. Yeah, so that's really the best way I can put it. All right. So yeah, so I guess that's all I can really say about it. So yeah, so I guess that does it for my review of A Very Brady Christmas. So I hope you guys enjoyed this review, and thank you to everybody who did tune into these direct-to-video made-for-TV Christmas films. It was just something different I wanted to do, like similar to last year, as I said, since like what I did last year seemed to do well. I wanted to do something similar in a way, but go back to film. So yeah, but I hope that you guys did get a lot of enjoyment out of this. This for those of you that did just tune into these. So yeah, all right, but yeah, so this is a review of A Very Brady Christmas. So I hope you guys did enjoy this review. Thanks for watching. Merry Christmas, and I'll see you guys later.